Joining us now, author of the #1 New York Times best-selling book, Understanding Trump, former Speaker of the House, Fox News contributor Newt Gingrich. Let's start with Comey wanting to pay the guy that came up with the phony dossier. Let's start there. 50 grand.
Yeah. Look, you can't make this stuff up. I mean,
you can't.
You can't make it up. And there are two parts to it. One is how much of it's bad, and the other is how bad they are at being bad. I mean, you'd think if they're going to do this kind of stuff, they'd be subtle, they'd be clever. I mean, this is stupid. I mean, here's the FBI director being stupid. It's not complicated. Here's Hillary Clinton being stupid. I mean, talk about a stupid party. I know the donkey was the original symbol of the Democratic Party, but this is really down at a point of embarrassment. Now, I will say, on behalf of Adam Schiff and on behalf of Senator Feinstein, I'm very proud as Democrats, because I know it was a risk, that both of them came out and said, we have to investigate Loretta Lynch and find out what she's doing. And, of course, all this is happening exactly as you thought it would. Now we're beginning to turn the corner. You didn't, by the way, get in a totally separate story about Bernie Sanders and his wife also now lawyering up a little bit on a different problem. Yeah. You know, I mean, all this stuff is coming down the road.
But
and if I were Trump, and go ahead.
All right, Hillary, we know
if I
the
were
evidence.
Trump,
We know.
I would be looking down, going. I would be thinking, all right, you guys, you had 6 months of coming at me. You couldn't do it. You couldn't prove anything. And now you're about to just wreck yourself on all this stuff. And in addition to being pretty happy with the Supreme Court, he ought to be pretty happy with the way these things are turning around in a way that is astonishing.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I kind of feel in many ways we've been, and you've been included in this, and you've been an enormous help with great analysis. We've almost been a sole voice here of sanity in the media. And we pointed out, the evidence, overwhelming, incontrovertible. We saw a problem with the tarmac and Loretta Lynch and investigation versus mission and then the circus story. And then we saw the unhealthy conflicts with Comey and Mueller. Let's start with Comey and Mueller. Does this investigation now need to be wrapped up? And how does he justify hiring the biggest donors to the Democrats and also Hillary's lawyer?
Look, I think that the House and Senate Judiciary Committees should bring Mueller in, not to get into the details of the investigation, but to get into the details of who he's hiring, why he's hiring them. Has he considered a single pro-Trump lawyer? I mean, this is one of the most...
Not one.
Again,
that I've
it's
seen.
part of the same pattern. These guys, there is no way you can look at the people Mueller has hired, look at where they came from, and apparently the other day Rosenstein said, oh, well, maybe they gave some money to the Democrats, but that doesn't mean they're biased. Give me a break. Every single one of them, I mean, the top 5 lawyers he brought in are all professional Democrats. One of them actually worked for the Clinton Foundation. Why would any reasonable person have any faith in this kind of a team?
Mr. Speaker, is it now time, because the Democrats have pushed so hard, and we know I have no doubt Hillary committed felonies. Now that they pushed so hard, if we believe in justice and equal justice under the law, doesn't she now need to be fully and completely investigated, both on the foundation pay-to-play and on the email server, where we know, and Comey pretty much himself admitted she committed felonies?
Well, there are reports that the State Department now is actively looking at taking away her security clearances, which would be a pretty big sign of guilt. Well, look, here's what I honestly believe. I really think that the new director of the FBI should look at all of the evidence and should follow it where it leads. I don't want a vendetta against Hillary Clinton, but I also don't want, you know, if we're going to talk about Russian influence, like you, I want to know about all the different parts that were commingled between John Podesta's brother, he's an agent, the Clinton Foundation, the uranium deal. I mean, all these different pieces, the $500,000 to Bill Clinton.
Then this is the most important.
There ought to be some public accounting.
What about what we learned that Obama knew in August of 2016 and chose to do nothing because he thought he didn't want to rock the boat that Hillary had this?
There's no question that the Congress should call the former president in to testify under oath, to explain what he was doing and why he was doing it. There's no question that they should build the case from the ground up. Who was doing the investigating? Who was reporting to the president? Who did it go through? What were the meetings like where they decided not to pursue it? I mean, talk about an extraordinary failure of national security.
But doesn't it seem, sir,
that after all of these months of rumors, it's him?
Exactly. Doesn't it seem that the only reason that he did nothing was for political reasons, because he knew that she was on a path to victory, which...
I think because you and I are both concerned for the country,
Absolutely.
we should simply say that the Congress should ask him that question. What was your... I mean literally, I think that President Obama should come and testify. Where did you learn about it?
Under oath.
Who did you learn about it from? Who was in the room with you when you made the decision? What was their advice? And what was your reasoning? For months, you're talking now about, what, August, September, October, November? And then he goes quiet when all of a sudden we're talking about the Russian thing, and he's known about it for 5 months? And he lets it hang out there as though it's brand new? It is.
All right, sir. Good to see you. Congrats on #1 New York Times. We appreciate it.
Good to see you.